Hi guys, it's you and me. How are you? If you are new here, hi. I always talk about murder, mystery, ghost encounters, tragic life, and other creepy stuff. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and hit the thumbs up. So, let's jump into our topic for today. This case has been sensational since it hit the front pages on May 30, 1967, for two reasons. One, it was the first known case of mutilation, and second, the police had 4 suspects but couldn't put any one of them in jail. Sometime in the late 50s or early 60s, Lalu Tolentino left her hometown in Candaba, Pampanga, Philippines, to try her luck in Manila. She initially worked as a waitress at a small bar, and apparently she was really good with money. Her hard-earned money, which she saved quite wisely, was enough to start several ventures. She then put up Lucy's House of Beauty, a salon, and Pagoda, which is a restaurant and a cocktail lounge. It seems that everything is going well for her. And she also met Añano de Vera, a police officer who was married, but who nevertheless fell in love with her. Soon, the two began living together in a common law marriage, and their union was blessed with a child. Like any other career woman, Lucila was adeptly juggling her businesses and family life at 28 years old. Then one summer day in 1967, Lucila disappeared without a trace. On May 28, police officers found a human body, which is a woman's pair of legs, cleanly pierced into 4 pieces, wrapped in a newspaper, dated May 14. The legs were found in a garbage can, not far from Pagoda. The garbage collector who found the parts said that they were cold to touch, as if it had came from the freezer. He also noted that the toes were well pedicured, like they belonged to some well-to-do family. Almost a day later, a torso with arms were found along EDSA, near Guadalupe Bridge. These parts were also wrapped in newspaper, this time dated May 23. The body was identified to be Lucila's, whose fingerprints were on file when she applied for a police clearance back when she had just arrived in Manila. Homicide investigators noted that whoever mutilated Lucila was someone skilled with a knife or have some sort of medical knowledge, since the parts were expertly cut. Initial report says they also mentioned that since the body parts were frozen and scattered in different parts of the city, they were looking for someone with access to a huge freezer and an automobile. Several suspects were rounded up. Most of them were Lucila's lovers. First was Florante Relos, a 19-year-old waiter at the Pagoda, whom Lucila had supported. However, Florante was drinking with his friends during the time of the crime. He also did not have any motive to kill her because they are lovers. She even rented out a love nest in Cubao where he could stay, so Florante was released. The second suspect was Añano, Lucila's common-law husband for 7 years. Many already knew that they were having problems. Their 6-year-old child had been staying at Lucila's mother, and Añano was also prone to fits of anger and jealousy, having fired off his service gun 3 times in Lucila's pagoda and beauty parlor the month before she disappeared. The night of her disappearance, Añano claimed to have had dinner with her in the beauty parlor at around 6:30 p.m. and then he left immediately. Some witnesses, including some of Lucila's relatives, said that around the time Añano left, they even saw Lucila in the salon sleeping. There was another suspect, an executive of a printing firm, who was also said to be Lucila's lover. He was never named in any of the reports, only that he was suspected because of a cardboard material used in wrapping newsprints that was found under the torso of Lucila. This mystery man seemed to have an alibi, and this angle wasn't explored any further. The last suspect was someone who came forward due to his guilt conscience, a 28-year-old dentistry student, Jose Luis Santiano. It was June 15, 1967, when the news broke out that a handsome young man confessed in his own handwritten statement that he experienced a mental blackout, but remembered strangling Lucila to her death. Jose Luis was also one of Lucila's lovers, and was one of the boarders of the spare rooms in her parlor. In his initial testimony, he said that Lucila had tried to seduce him, and he refused. She threatened to create a scandal. This was when Jose Luis lost his mind and killed her. In his testimony, he even mentioned that he is responsible for disposing her body while commuting via taxis and jeepney, though it was never mentioned in old news reports if the head was ever found. But 3 days later, Jose Luis was singing a different tune. He retracted his earlier statements, saying he wasn't the murderer, but just an unwilling witness to the murder, which was in fact committed by 3 men. While the murder did happen in the mezzanine of the parlor, where Jose Luis's room was, he said that 2 men killed Lucila, while another man held him hostage while pointing a gun at him. A 4th man appeared the following morning and planted the evidence in his room. Over the next few days, he allegedly received notes reminding him to keep silent. The police insisted that Jose Luis did it, especially since they found a hammer with bloodstains in the mezzanine, as well as the knife and razors in his initial testimony. They claimed that he was merely following his lawyer's suggestion of retracting his statement. When Jose Luis was being held by the NBI, they received bomb threats to let the murderer suspect go. He was released later on, and some even say that Jose Luis is still alive and living overseas. Without any new leads, the investigators reached a dead end. The public, on the other hand, continued to speculate on the mystery. Being a controversial case, there are some questions that remain unanswered who was the printing firm executive that was supposed to be the fourth suspect, and why has he remained unidentified? Why did Santiano admit the crime only to retract his statement? For a case more than 5 decades, it could be a tough nut to crack because the evidence presented in court may be too fragile to handle. The crime scenes are no longer there, and there's no more trace of Lucila's business establishments in Manila. This case will stay unsolved forever. That's it, guys. What do you think about our episode for today? Let me know in the comments section, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. And if you have any topic that you want me to check, please comment it down below, and I will see you next time.